Introduction to Light and Sound. Part 1. Preparing for the Hike. Milo, Susie, and Angelina were enjoying the warm summer afternoon while riding their bikes through the park with Angelina's mother. As they rode, the three friends were busy making plans for going on a hike on Saturday. "I have been wearing my new sneakers to make sure they are comfortable," Susie shared. "I really don't want to end up with blisters while we are walking." "That would not be fun," Angelina added. "I remember getting blisters when my family spent a day at the amusement park. It was painful." "Have you guys started packing your backpack yet?" asked Milo. Milo's parents had prepared a list of supplies to help everyone know what they would need to pack for their hike. Hiking list: backpack, comfortable walking shoes, water bottle, bandana, rain jacket, snack, flashlight. Susie, Angelina, and Milo talked about the items on the list and why they might need each one. "I don't really understand why we need to bring a flashlight," Angelina stated. "We plan to be back before it gets dark." "My dad says that you need to always be prepared in case something happens that you weren't expecting," Milo responded. Susie's excitement about hiking showed as she told her friends about what she had packed for the hike. "I agree with your dad, Milo," Susie said. "You never know what might happen when you're in the forest." "I have all the items on the list, plus some other things I wanted to bring. I have a mirror, some tape, and a bunch of other things I found in my bedroom." Angelina said, "Susie, your backpack is going to be heavy if you keep adding things. We'll know who to find if we need anything." Milo just laughed at the thought of Susie carrying a heavy backpack up the trail. He wanted to be prepared for the hike, but he didn't want to have a heavy backpack to carry around all day. Part 2. The Day of the Hike. On Saturday morning, Susie woke up very early. Today was finally the day of the hike. Susie jumped out of bed, ran down the stairs, and started looking for her family. Everyone was still asleep. She decided to start getting dressed and make sure her backpack was ready to go. At 8, Susie's mom called everyone to help with breakfast and getting snacks ready for the hike. Milo's parents had planned the trip for some of the families in their apartment building. "Does everyone have their backpack ready?" Susie asked as they sat down for breakfast. "Susie's backpack has been ready since Wednesday," her father announced. "Mr. King said we need to be prepared," Susie responded. "I know, Susie," Mr. Chin teased. "I can always count on you to make sure everything is ready to go." Mrs. Chin added, "Susie, your backpack seemed heavy when I sat it on the counter. What did you bring?" "Well, I brought everything on the list and some other things from my bedroom," Susie answered. "I wanted to make sure I have everything I might need." As soon as breakfast was over and the dishes had been put away, Mr. Chin began to organize the rest of the family's backpacks for the hike. Since the group would eat lunch at the picnic area before the hike, Susie and her mother packed the family's lunch. Susie thought that 10 would never come. Part 3. The Hike. When the families finally made it to National Park, it was time for lunch. Susie, Milo, and Angelina sat together and talked about all the things they had hoped to see on their trail. Soon, Mr. King was calling the group together to give instructions for the hike. "This is a beautiful trail with lots of wildflowers and trees. We may even see a bit of wildlife along the way," Mr. King began. Soon they were on their way. The three close friends stayed together near the front of the group with Mr. King. They didn't want to miss anything along the way. After an hour, the group stopped by a stream to have a snack and enjoy splashing in the cold mountain stream. Angelina, Susie, and Milo talked about the amazing things they had seen there. Deer, a rabbit, beautiful flowers, and trees that seemed to reach the sky. The day seemed just perfect. Later in the afternoon, the group came to a place where the trail split into two trails. From the map, it looked as if the trails would both lead back to the starting point. Mr. Chin and another one of the dads decided that they would take a small group on a different path and see who made it back first. Angelina, Milo, and Susie were excited about their adventure. After walking for about 45 minutes, Mr. Chin noticed that the trail was starting to climb the mountain rather than traveling down the mountain. They found a trail that was leading down and decided to take it. Very soon, Mr. Chin realized the path was coming to an end. The adults decided that the best strategy would be to stay put rather than continue in the wrong direction. They knew they were close to where they needed to be, but they didn't know how to get there. Mr. Chin knew that they did not return to the starting point. Mr. King would soon realize there was a problem. At first, the children enjoyed trying to find interesting things around them, but they soon grew tired of just sitting. "I'm hungry," Angelina said. "Does anyone have another snack?" Susie opened her backpack and found 2 more granola bars. "Of course. I knew you would have something in that heavy backpack," Angelina said. As the men realized that sunset would be coming in a few hours, they started working on a plan. Mr. Chin asked the group, "Let's see what we have that might be helpful if we need to try to make contact with the other group." "We all have flashlights," Milo answered. "The hard part will be getting the light to be seen from a distance because there are so many trees." Angelina added, "Remember how we have been learning about how light and even sound can travel over distances? We need to find a way to get the light, or maybe a sound, to be heard by the others." "I know everyone thought it was funny that I had so much in my backpack," Susie began. "But I think there might be something useful. I have a mirror, some masking tape, a tennis ball, some string." Susie's dad said, "I don't think we could use all of that, but some of those extra items might be useful." "Mirrors are a good way to reflect light," Milo added. "Maybe we can put together a plan to use light to get the attention of another group on the trail," Mr. Chin responded. "Our water bottles are metal. They could be used to create loud sounds," Angelina shared. "Let's come up with a plan in case we are stuck here for a while," Mr. Chin told the group. "If you were with Angelina, Milo, and Susie, how would you help them to communicate over a long distance to get help?"